Okay, so this is our list status change where we are tracking the timestamp for each and every status change. Okay, so this is the title column contains the status name and contract number. So this is the number which will be available and which contains the data of the parent ID actually. So 19 is the item ID present in my previous list of that particular item. There is a status change happening and that changed status is getting captured in the title column along with the timestamp when the status has been modified. Okay, so this is the list we are going to connect to our Power BI. Okay, I'll open Power BI, blank report, get data, search for SharePoint online list, enter the URL. After connecting the list, I can see the available list in the same site. I'm choosing my list name status change. Here it is. I'll click transform data. So because I'm going to make some manipulations in the source data, so I clicked transform data. Okay. So first thing is I'm going to remove the unwanted columns from my SharePoint list. Okay. So whichever is available in my SharePoint site, I'm going to keep them along with the ID column. Okay. So whatever is required, I'll keep that and I'll remove the others like this one, film system object type, service URL, service redirected URL, content type ID. So all these are unwanted columns. Contract number is required. So you can just click the control button, click and hold the control button and keep selecting the columns whichever is not required. So finally we are seeing only these columns. I have ID, contract number, timestamp and created date. Okay. So I see some columns are not reflecting. So I'll do one refresh here. Okay, now it is refreshed. Now newly added items are available here. So just two things we have to do. Ensure that your IDs do the sort ascending. Okay, and you do sort ascending on the contract number so that we will ensure that these are grouped together and has the proper values in the proper order, ascending order. Okay, then finally go to transform data or go to add column and click on the index column and add one index column that will be like a serial number from 1 to 1 to 3. Okay, so this is very important so that we will ensure that uh, you have a independent sequential numbers here so that it will be helpful to add your DAX formulas. Okay, now our query editor work part is completed. I can click close and apply. It's loading. Once the data is loaded, you can see the index column is available here. Okay, now from this we are going to add one more new column so that we were able to find the difference between the timestamp and with respect to the changed status value, meaning we have to get the difference between the time between in progress to completed and from completed to closed. Likewise, for this item, in progress to completed, completed to closed. So for all the in progress, the time difference will not be there; it will be blank. So we can keep it as 0 also. So our intention is to get the difference between the change in status and the time required for that, right? So I'll go to column, add a new column. Okay, so I keep the column name as time difference. Okay, so this is going to be a little lengthy, so I'll expand this. So first I'll create a variable where current index. So this variable will give the index value of the current item. This is very important so that we will be in track with the current item and the previous item. So you can press Alt Enter to bring back to the new line, and I will have the current contract number because we are going to group the contract numbers and get the values accordingly. So we need to know the current contract number which we are dealing with. So we'll take the current contract number in one variable, right? And we are going to calculate the previous timestamp where equal to. So we are going to use calculate function. Okay, so we are going to calculate the maximum timestamp value from our table, the timestamp. So the maximum value will be captured here, but we are going to apply a filter over there so that we can only take the current contract number which we are dealing with. Status change. We are first select the table, and the expression is nothing but the column name which we are going to choose, that is contract number, and that should be equal to the variable name current contract number, so that we will filter and see only the set of contract numbers which we are dealing with. From that we are going to get the maximum timestamp. Okay, so I'll say timestamp equal to the current contract, sorry, contract number equal to the current contract number, so that it matches with the value stored in this variable. But this is not sufficient. We are going to make one more and condition, and that would be the index column. So our intent is we are going to get the previous timestamp, right? So which means it should be the item minus one. So if we are dealing with the item ID one, we need to get the previous timestamp, 1 minus 0. So it will be blank. So for the second item, it will be 2 minus 1. For the third item, will be 3 minus 2. Okay. Sorry, 3 minus 1, that is equal to 2. So here we are going to put index equal to current index minus 1. Okay. First filter bracket we are closing, then the calculate bracket. Okay. Next we are going to use a return function. DATEDIFF. Now we are going to calculate the time difference between the current timestamp and previous timestamp. I think we are missed one bracket. Yeah, one more bracket need to be closed. Yeah, now it is fixed. So date difference of the previous timestamp, that is what we just calculated, comma, then the current timestamp of our table, and we want the difference in day units. If you want in hours also, we can get it. Okay. Now I'll commit this change. Okay. Now we got the output here. There was one mistake that we missed to close a bracket after the max. Now it is coming properly. Okay. So this is the difference between the timestamp in days. So to ensure that it is working fine, I'll convert this day to hour and I'll commit it again. So you can see the difference here, that is 24 hours. So for testing, I just added the dates manually so that you are seeing the difference 1 and 24. But in real time, it will give the proper date and time. Okay. Hope this is helpful for you. You can just try it out and let me know if there is any issues you are facing. And always this will becomes blank here. So I hope that is fine for you.